Guys, what's going on? Have you had a lot of cases of deja vu in the last few months, in the last few years? Do you remember certain places, certain people, certain events in your past that are no longer that way? And then when you talk to your loved ones, people think that you crazy? Was it Chick-fil-A chick with a C or with a CK? What you know about the Mandela Effect? Let's talk about it. Guys, what's going on? I hope you're amazing. It's Andres at Do You Fitness. What are we going to talk about today? This is going to be a good one. We're talking about the Mandela Effect. Have you heard about it? A lot of you guys probably have heard about it. Have you at least heard of Nelson Mandela? You should have, right? Before I continue, the lighting is a little off here. I have no idea what's going on because I look like those quote-unquote reptilian fake videos that change and morph and blah, blah, blah with the distortions. No, I'm not a reptilian. This is the lighting reflection from the window and it's hitting me odd. So I don't know. I'm going to continue because if I don't post these videos, I'm never going to post them. I always nitpick and find little things wrong. Okay, enough of that. All right, the Mandela Effect. So when did it start? I'm over here stuttering. The Mandela Effect essentially is that there's millions of people on this planet that have memories of certain things the way they used to be for them versus other people who say that's not true. Those memories don't exist. You're wrong. It's called the Mandela Effect because Nelson Mandela, South Africa's leader and political activist who was a huge person, he was announced dead. He died supposedly in 2013, right? The problem is most people, including myself, remember that he died in the 90s, like in 1991. And I was big on world economics and geography and the world political stage, right? So when they stating, the news, just news all around the world. Oh my God, Nelson Mandela, he died in, I think it was December 6th, 2013. I'm like, in passing, he died in the 1990s. Okay, I didn't think much of it. So fast forward to now, about a year ago, because that's when I heard about it. I'm researching and I hear about this whole Nelson Mandela effect. Okay, that there's things, let me give you an example. The movie Field of Dreams, one of my all-time favorite movies with Kevin Costner. And this hit me hard, right? So at the time I was with my ex, right? Well, she's my ex now. And we're talking and I'm like, oh, we need to build a business because like the movie says, if you build it, they will come. They being the people. In the movie, they being the baseball team. And she's like, oh, okay, yeah, we need to talk about that. Okay, so the next day as I was researching the Mandela Effect and they brought up the movie Field of Dreams. And that now it says, if you build it, he will come. That's not the way it was. So that hit me hard because the day prior, I was stating a quote from that movie that I saw that I perfectly remember. If you build it, they will come, right? So I'm researching and then I'm going to old links of the movie from back then because it's an old movie. And sure enough, if you build it, he will come. So I'm like, I don't remember it like that. Okay. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, as probably most of you are, right? Now, I remember it when Darth Vader told Luke, and this isn't a spoiler because it's old, Luke, I am your father. I remember because I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. This movie's amazing, right? But if you see the movie now, it says, no, I am your father, right? It sounds ridiculous. But that's a big thing because I'm a huge Star Wars fan. So when I spoke to other Star Wars fans, they're like, no, it's always been like that. It was never Luke, I am your father. It was never, if you build it, they will come. So now I'm scratching my head and my mind is blown because I perfectly remember these like it was yesterday. And that's what's happening. So there's millions of people like myself who are saying, look, I remember it as well, the way I just described. But then there's the rest of the people and the population on this planet that are saying, no, it's always been like that. So I'm delving a little deeper. I moved to Florida a few years ago, 4 years ago. And before that, I was scouting areas, and I remember the first time I went to Chick-fil-A, right? And I specifically remember seeing the sign and saying, oh, wow, they spelled it differently so that it stays in your mind. As opposed to chick, it was C-H-I-C. Okay. Chick-fil-A is chick, C-H-I-C-K, filet. Now, whoa, that wasn't like that. I sound crazy. YouTube is probably going to ban the video under conspiracy. No, nothing is a conspiracy. First of all, when they say conspiracy theorists, conspiracy realists, if you think there's a conspiracy, research it. That's all. Because what happens is, what? You're going to believe the mainstream media and mainstream history, etc., to the T? When you know that they're here? Oof, I don't want to even get off on a tangent. But how do they control the majority of the population? People, they need to control the information that they disseminate, right? So if something, whatever that is, doesn't strike right with you, you owe it to yourself to research. That's all. That's all. I'm not saying you're going to go outside with a tinfoil hat on. Where's the aluminum foil? Right? Okay, so those are a few examples. And those examples hit me hard. Like, I spent the day, like my mind was blown. But there's a gazillion other examples that people are bringing up, right? For example, Forrest Gump. I remember the movie. My mama always said, life is like a box of chocolates. Or now it says, mama always said, life was like a box of chocolates. Now, I don't know what you remember, but I remember life is like a box of chocolates. Now, what's interesting is, and with my research from what I'm seeing, that if you remember one thing different, everything is different, right? There's no in between. It's either you remember things the way I described every scenario, or you're like the rest of the people who say, no, none of that exists. All of that is fake. And that's not the way it was, right? So that's interesting. But there's a host, the Berenstain Bears. Berenstain, is it E-I-N or A-I-N? Berenstain? Berenstein? Who knows? I remember that I used to read those books. I honestly don't remember the way it was spelled, so I can't comment on that. But again, there's a divide in the population. So this is what's happening. This is essentially the Mandela Effect, that there's two different realities, two different timelines, and millions upon millions of people remember it a specific way. Now, you say to yourself, that's crazy for the people who don't believe. Okay. I was huge into geography. I think I was probably in like first grade or kindergarten when I would look at the world map and I'm like, oh, look, the world, the landmasses around the world used to all be one, right? Because they fit like a puzzle. My teacher's like, yes, yes. So I had a globe in the house. You know, I would look, I would play around with the globe. I just knew where everything was, right? I used to draw lines like on the map, like a little kid. I remember drawing a line from the tip of Florida, where I am now, all the way down, and I used to hit Brazil, right? If you look at the world map right now, if you look at South America, from Central America all the way down to the tip, it's too far to the right. It sounds so crazy, but if you draw a line from Florida and you draw it all the way down, I think you hit like Venezuela, Guyana, you hit like the northern top of South America. When no, you used to be able to hit Brazil, which means that the whole South America used to be more to the left if you're looking at it. I'm not even going to get into the position of New Zealand in relation to Australia. What I'm trying to tell you is there's something going on. No doubt about it. Why? Do you know what CERN is? CERN? What is it? The Central of Research of Nuclear Research, the European Center of Nuclear Research, right? In the year 2008, they opened their, the Hadron Collider, right? For miles and miles, kilometers. I think it's like 21 kilometers wide. It's like a huge circle. And what that does, that's a particle accelerator, right? So they're trying to make, like dark matter. They were trying to replicate the Big Bang that supposedly made the stars at every everything into existence, right? The Big Bang Theory, right? So they were going to simulate that, which is insanity because you're going to simulate the smashing of particles on a planet. What? You're going to start a new Big Bang, and it's just insane. But anyway, they're doing their own research. They're making dark matter. They're calling the God particle because now they can make more matter with these atoms that they splice and they crash together and they split a whole bunch of nuclear language, right? But that was opened in 2008. And what people are saying is their memories, they started noticing differences in 2008, right? So they started bringing up the conversation that things are different. It wasn't that widespread until the announced death of Nelson Mandela that had everybody saying, hold on a second. Nelson Mandela died in 2001. I want to keep, oh my God, this video is long. Essentially, that's what the Mandela Effect is. I'm going to make subsequent videos on different examples so you can see for yourself. And I'm curious to see what you remember. Comment down below and let me know on the examples that I mentioned in this video. What do you remember? Do you remember Chick-fil-A with the C-H-I-C-K or C-H-I-C? Do you remember Luke, I am your father? Do you remember I am your father? Or if you build it, they will come. Versus if you build it, he will come. Insanity. Regardless of what you think, you should research it. It's so interesting. My close circle or any of the people that I speak to this about, it's a conversation. So you want to start a conversation in the party? Hey, you know what the Mandela Effect is? Make sure they have a few drinks in them because then they're going to think you crazy. Guys, I'm going to leave it right there. I hope you're amazing. Stay blessed. Do you.